Hey everybody, Chase from CN Woodwork here, and today I'm going to make some stubby screwdrivers from this table leg. Now I have this old table leg, I believe it's oak. It's been sitting around for a long time. I don't see another use for it. It's kind of beat, it's got broken ends and whatever, so I was thinking I have a whole bunch of these bits laying around, and I always find myself needing a stubby screwdriver, or a few. So today I'm going to make a Phillips 1, 2, 3 stubby screwdriver and also a 9 and 10 flathead. I'm going to use these templates that I took the liberty of drawing up, maybe some familiar designs you see there, but I assure you I drew them all myself. And I'll put a link in the description so you can download these if you'd like to make them yourself. Now these may not be ideal size for everybody. These are about what I was going for. I did a 2-inch, 1 3/4, 1 1/2, and a 1 1/4 if you needed a really small screwdriver, which sometimes you do to get in some tight spaces, especially if you're taking apart tools like I do. So let's get over the table saw, rip this leg down, and get started. Alright, I'm going to go with the 1 3/4 inch here, just because I think that'll fit all my needs. Now I'm going to rip my table leg here. I'm going to do it a little over 1 inch because you do want some excess. Okay, I've got my piece ripped down to 1 inch square. Now I'm going to cut. I'm not going to cut it all off because I don't want to cut them all into individual pieces because that's not going to serve me very well. As far as cutting it on the scroll saw, or if you're going to cut them out on the bandsaw, because you kind of want something to hold on to and turn as you're doing it, and if you're working with a tiny little piece, your fingers are going to get close to the blade and it's just not a good situation. I've only got to get 5 out of this, so I'm just going to cut it in half on my sled. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out with some scissors. And this is another reason that you cut your workpiece oversized, is because you don't want to be stuck trying to line it up exactly on the lines of these, and you're probably not going to get it right because it's a little difficult to do. And then I'm just going to take some spray adhesive and I'm going to spray the back of this so I can stick it on my workpiece. My favorite is Loctite General Performance, but it seems like it's, I don't know if they're phasing this out or what, it seems really hard to find lately. And you just want to wait for it to dry up a little bit, so maybe wait 5 or 10 minutes and it'll get tacky. And it's not going to transfer onto the wood. Alright, now I'm over at the scroll saw getting ready to cut this piece out. Alright, so I've got my piece cut out here. Now would be a good time, if you've got everything looking the way you want it to also drill. I put a little piece on here so you can drill and know where the center of the screwdriver is in case you want to hang it. So that's there for you too. But now you have basically your template piece. Now if you need to do any filing or any shaving down, like you can see right here on the edges where my scroll saw met the cut, so I'm just going to shave that down on my sander real quick, and then I'm going to use this as a template for the other pieces I'm going to cut. Okay, now that I've got my piece sanded and flattened out and everywhere, that's why you keep the template on, is because you want to try to match these lines so everything's symmetrical, just in case you got a little off. When you're cutting something that's 1 inch or more, or even 3/4 or more, especially some hard oak on a scroll saw, you definitely have potential for burning. Like you see here, there's a little bit of burning. Also, the blade may not track 100% correct, so you may not get real perfect on the lines, but usually you can fix that with a sander just real quick. Now I can just take the template off, and I'm going to use this as the template for all my other pieces. Alright, now I've got it drawn on there. Now on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw it on both sides, and I need to try to make the sides match up. So what I'm going to do is just roll it to the side here, and I'm just going to make a mark with my straight edge so I can see exactly where the bottom of this goes, and then I can just place it in that spot on the other side here. And if you don't want to go through this second step and you just want to cut only one side, then the screwdriver will function perfectly fine. In fact, I know that a lot of people prefer a screwdriver that is a little more oblong because you can tend to get a little more leverage on it. So if you like that, then just stick with this design and you can round the edges. Okay, now I've got one side cut. I'm not going to take my workpiece out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to flip it over on the other side, and I'm going to try to cut it from this side while this remains in the same shape. Now this may prove to be a little difficult, but let's give it a shot. And actually what I think I'm going to do here before I continue is take some packing tape, which seems like maybe a weird thing to have in the workshop. However, packing tape when you're doing scroll saw work becomes a very, very handy thing. Because now I can just go like this, and I don't have to worry about holding it the whole time. Not only that, but they say, and I'm not 100% confirming this, but they say that the packing tape will actually lubricate your scroll saw blade when you're cutting. So that's kind of an interesting thing too, especially when your scroll saw blade's getting hot and getting dull. A little bit of lubrication, I don't see why that would hurt anything if that's true. If not, it still works fine. Alright, now let's see how that turns out here. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of burning on that side, but actually they turned out pretty cool. I think that's going to make a nifty little screwdriver. So let's just go over the sander, touch this one up a bit, and then mount a bit, and then finish it up. Alright, now I've pretty much got this thing sanded down to about where I want it. This one's for me, and I'm doing it super quick for the video. You could make them nice and do like a complex glue up or something fancy if you wanted to. But anyways, I chamfered the edges a little bit just because I like that a little better. Now we're going to go ahead and just fit this bit in here. And all we're going to do is just drill a little bit of an undersized hole, put some glue in the hole, and then basically just hammer the bit down in there. And you'll have yourself a little stubby screwdriver. So let's get that done. Alright, now I don't know if it's just me or what, but I have a really hard time finding center when I'm using a larger drill bit. So usually what I'll do is I'll pre-drill with a smaller drill bit. This one has a countersink on it, but it's not going to matter anyway. And I'll kind of find center because I can find center a lot better. And then I'll go ahead and just drill a hole where I think center is. And then that'll serve as a pilot hole for when I use a bigger bit and drill it out. Alright, now on this I don't want to drill down too far because when I hit it in, it's going to be hard to regulate where the bit's going to stop in that hole. Because chances are the hole's not going to be exactly perfect if I just drill it by eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and look at where that's at, and then I'm going to wrap a piece of tape around the tip of my drill bit. What that's going to do is it's going to basically provide me a stopping point for where I need to stop. Just to drill this out, you can even go slow. I don't want to really go too much past that line. And I think that should be about it. Okay, now you could use epoxy for this, which would probably be the best case scenario. Also, I'm going to use some super glue gel, just because that's what I have laying around here, and it's not going to make a huge difference. Like I said, it's not going to get a lot of force on it to pull it back out. And this you can get super cheap at, and I like the gel way better than regular super glue. This you can get cheap. I think I get these at the dollar store if I remember correctly. So just apply it pretty liberally here. Alright, so I've got my handles chucked up in my vise here, and I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can tap this in. I ended up putting a stop block under here because it seems like this wanted to twist as I was driving the head in here. But anyways, I got it down, and you'll be able to tell when you've got it seated because it'll be up to that center line, and you'll be able to tell that way. Then all we're going to do is just take a chisel and cut off this, and then we'll finish it up. Alright, so I've got most of that glue squeeze out scraped off just with the chisel. Now I'm just basically going to spray, for finish, just going to spray a coat of poly on it, and it'll be done. Okay, now it's dry and it's pretty much done. I think that's a pretty cool project. Just maybe as a gift for somebody, you know. A few notes though. I used a 7/32 in the video. I probably could have used a 15/64 and made it a little bit easier on myself. Just tapping that bit in there. Because it was a little difficult, especially in the hard oak, to get that bit in there. So you may want to try that instead. If you go for a 1/4 inch though, you're probably going to be a little loose. As well as taking your time on the scroll saw a little bit more, and maybe a little bit bigger blade on the scroll saw. That blade I'm using is pretty small. But anyways, pretty cool, and I'll probably be making a bunch more of these for gifts and whatnot. Maybe like full sets in a nice box or something would be pretty neat. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. I'll put the link to those plans in the description for the video, so you can go download them if you want to make your own. And if you make some, post them on my Facebook or my Instagram, tag me in them or whatever. It would be really cool to see what you guys make if you decide to use my templates. Anyways, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you later.